mysterious goings-on. Thanks so much for tuning in here to hear the latest from the world of John Pilate mysteries, as well as my interviews with creative folks from across the spectrum. This will be a special episode in the sense that I have stripped the audio off of the recent Facebook Live where we did the cover reveal for the new revised edition cover by Jason McIntyre of Pilate's Key. It's a great cover, and I've included it in the show notes so you can have a gander at the Pilate's Key cover. And by the time you listen to this, there will also be new covers for Pilate's Ghost, Pilate 7, and Pilate's Blood is on the way at this recording date. So stay tuned to pilatescross.com and the John Pilate Mysteries Facebook page, and of course right here for more information. Until then, I'll talk to you next time, but please enjoy the recording from the Facebook Live.
Hey everybody, it's me, it's Alex. Happy Sunday to you and yours. Thanks for joining me. I realize that most of you who are watching this are probably not watching this live because it's Sunday. I was excited. I had a lot going on here with these covers and I wanted to share them with you and update you on what's going on. If you didn't hear or watch the last Facebook Live, we showed you the cover reveal for the first book in the John Pilate series. This is a series of cover refreshes we're doing on the first 4, maybe more books in the series. Going with a consistent look and feel, same artist, same kind of vision. Each book cover will have a unique feel, of course, but we're going to try to make them a little more commercial and make them perhaps a little more easier for people to find on Amazon in particular, where most people are buying books these days. So if you missed it last week, I'm going to just show you Jason McIntyre, who is a brilliant author, but he's also a really fantastic cover designer. He redid Pilate's Cross, as you can see here. And, you know, he took a big page, I think, from the video. We have a book trailer that's very cinematic, like a movie trailer that we did years ago, 10 years ago, as a matter of fact, when the book first came out. And he took a lot of elements from that video and integrated them into the cover here, which I just love. He did a great job. So the other thing too is that Jason, and by the way, he also did the audiobook version too, because Pilate's Cross is the only book in the John Pilate mystery series of all 6 books or whatever. It's the only one that has an audio version. John Edmondson reads it. It's very nice. It's available on audible.com. Don't know if we'll do any more audiobooks in the future. We've kind of put that on the back burner. It's just a whole other Megillah. But so anyway, I like working with Jason. We have a great relationship. We've got it down pat on how we'll interact and how we do things. And so it's really been nice to work with Jason on some of these things. And I'm just enjoying the fact that he gets, you know, what I want to do, and he has great suggestions. And the other thing too that he's done that's really great with all the books is he's made it where the interiors are much cleaner, easier to read for the paperbacks. These all will have new ebooks, obviously too. We've upgraded the ebooks, we've fixed some mistakes, tweaked some things here and there. But on the, as you can see behind me, on some of these titles that he's done behind me back here, he's also redone the interior, so it looks a lot crisper, a lot cleaner. I think you'll agree once you see the book. By the way, if you heard a ding, I'm sorry. That's somebody dinging me. Anyway. So before we reveal the new Pilate's Key cover, I thought, well, hey, let's look at the old one. There's a little version of it. And here's a big version of it. This was the paperback. It was published by Lulu, cover art by a different artist he's a very talented artist. Nothing against what he did. It's great. And this is my favorite of all the covers he did, just about. This is for Pilate's Key. So he did a great job, but the publisher at the time, I didn't think was fantastic I don't think we did a fantastic job on the covers as far as making them consistent and clean and all that, but they're all right. I don't want to downmouth them just because I have something new. That's not what this is about. But I just think that I just thought there was something more that could be done. And we got in a situation where, you know, we had the initial cover for Pilate's Cross, the first book. This is the one, which is really cool too. I love it. It's very Hitchcockian, you know, and I love the way he did that. But there's not a lot of cohesion. You can't really tell it's a series. It's just And that's okay, because at the time we didn't know it would be a series. Heck, I thought I was going to write one and be done. And then I wrote Key, and I was like, oh, that's great, but I can't just do 2. I have to do 3. So I thought I'll do 3. And so then he did this really fabulous cover for Pilate's Ghost, the 3rd book, which was a Kickstarter book, by the way. It's got some nice detail on it, but it's so hard to read on Amazon.com, where, as I said earlier, everybody's buying their books. So 2012, Pilate's Key comes out. Pilate's Cross was a nice start. It's a nice debut. I'm proud of it. But Pilate's Key comes out, and just a whole new dimension with the series starts. People are like really glomming on. Great new character. Taters Malley shows up, the boat captain. And I mean, the book just really kicked into gear. And it's when I first started thinking, this really could be a series. This could be a lot of fun. And so anyway, here we are, 10 years in. There's a lot of 10-year anniversary things going on in 2019. And I'll talk more about that after we do the reveal. And we've got a few people watching, and I know you watched to see the new cover. I'm going to let the cover speak for itself. Just bear in mind, old cover, which I thought was very sexy and cool, and it caught the flavor of the book and all that really well. But again, with our aim to go more commercial and to get more eyeballs looking at the series, Jason and I came up with, voila! Now, I'll let you just let that soak in for a little bit. Obviously, this takes place in the Florida Keys and the Caribbean, and it's probably the sexiest book in a lot of ways. There's a lot of sex in it. There's a lot of... It's just a fun book. And we wanted something that would titillate a little bit because... Am I in the right way? Because the book is a little bit of a titillation, and we wanted... No lie, we wanted to attract people to it and go, oh, wow, there is a very attractive lady in a bikini, a string bikini on the beach. Is she alive or dead? We don't know. But that's not the point. The point is just, did it catch your eye? You've still got the birds integrated in here. You've got the ocean. You've got all these lovely things. And I just think that it works so well with the aesthetic that Jason and I are trying to establish here for the series. You'll notice here at the bottom below our lovely lady, everything's branded. The John Pilate Mystery Series, Book 2. Like the first one, as you saw, same thing, Book 1. People need to understand it's a series. You can read it out of order, although it's better, to be honest, to be reading it in order so people can easily see this now. They can go, oh, well, that's Book 2. That looks great. I'll buy that, but I need to read Book 1 first, and etc. So this is it. It is now available right now on Amazon.com, and I'm going to pull this up for you. Let me close this out here, and now I'm going to bring this up. All right. There it is on Amazon.com, and I wanted to say a couple of things to you about this, so if you're looking, you want to buy it, I'm hoping that if you're a diehard fan, you're going to want this whole thing for your shelf. You may not, but just hang on to the one you do have, the old version then, because it's a collector's item now. You're not going to be able to get those for much longer. So it's on the Kindle edition, you'll see here. You click on that same page, and right now the paperback is still linked to the old version of the paperback, and that's the way it's going to be for a little while. I'm going to have them de-link this, and they're going to be put together, because when you look at Pilate's Cross, so we got the Kindle version here, the audiobook here, on the same, you click there and it goes there, and then the paperback, it goes here, and it goes to the new version. I'm getting ready to have them link that. You can still find the old version floating out there, but it will go away. I want to draw your attention to one thing when you're looking at this and Pilate's Key. This will be linked eventually to the Kindle. When they do this, I had 22 reviews. They took away a huge chunk of my reviews, and don't even get me started on why Amazon does that crap. They start saying these are not real. They start saying that it's, an improper relationship or whatever. I mean, they didn't say anything to me like these are bad people. They just pulled them. So if you like this book and you haven't reviewed it, or you go back and you look and you see that your review is gone, do me a favor. And it'd be great to wipe out this 1-star review from this person who didn't like bad language. All right. But back to Pilate's Key. 35 customer reviews, and you can see here it's done very, very well. I anticipate when I link these up, I'm going to lose some reviews. So please keep an eye on that. And even if you don't buy a new copy, it'd be great if your review gets bounced that you do another one. Sometimes it's something as anodyne as we've somehow communicated across social media, and then they pull the review. It's like, well, gee, that's how I meet new readers, is social media primarily. What am I supposed to do? Ignore you? Anyway. Okay. So it's there. It's exclusive to Amazon.com. I bit the bullet. We were selling virtually no books anywhere else. So this is an Amazon exclusive book. All right. So let's go back down here. Here. We'll just go here. So back to it. This is Pilate's Key, and I'm very proud of it. And I think if you look at side by side with the Pilate's cross, you can see that just how well these are all integrating. I'm getting a comment from somebody here, Jason, saying, oh, sadly, if a reviewer's review is removed from Amazon, they can enter a second replacement review, but Amazon will most likely not display it. Well, can we try? Let's try it. Okay. All right. So back to Pilate's Key. And by the way, Jason's done some other wonderful work for me too. I don't know if you may remember that we finished my grandpa's last book, and Jason did this wonderful big cabin cover here as well. So if you haven't bought Big Cabin, Robert E. Trevathan with yours truly, he did that one as well. Okay, so what's ahead? I don't want to keep you. It's your Sunday. It's 12:14 already. I want to get you out of here real quick, but next up is Pilate's Ghost. And I know for a fact that one of my dear friends, one of my best readers, he's done a podcast episode with me or two, and Michael, he likes this one. And I agree with you. I like it artistically. I just need to move it along commercially a little bit and see what happens. So this one's going to go. So hang on to this copy. Same thing. You'll probably see this by next weekend. We're moving really quickly. We've been working on this for a long time. We're just starting to do the rollouts. So just pay attention to that. What's after that? Pilate's Blood. Now, this one was done by a different artist altogether. These first three were done by one artist. Uh-oh, I'm getting a frowny face. Okay. Sorry, Michael. Pilate's Blood was done by another artist, and she did a great job with that, with what I gave her. I wanted to capture that small town feel, and since Pilate's Blood is an homage to the Western genre a little bit, I was looking for more of a Justified kind of vibe. We just didn't quite get there. Not saying it's going to necessarily be that vibe when Jason gets done with it, but I mean, the way this works is pretty simple. I say, okay, this is what I want, and this is what I want to convey, and the artist has to then go, well, that's great. Let's see if we can do that without it looking ridiculous or larding it up too much. So that's kind of where we're going to be. Also, we are probably going to make some minor changes in the thing. We're going to lose the tagline that my editor, Robert, hates, thicker than water, twice as deadly. I always thought it was a funny tagline, but he does not like it. So that'll be coming up soon. And Jason did Pilate 7. Now, this is kind of actually a promotional version of the cover, but more or less he did. It's not the exact cover for Pilate 7. In fact, I can... let's see here. I can show you Pilate 7 here. Jason did this one. And this, by the way, is one of my most critically acclaimed books. And it's the 7 short stories. And it's a great cover. I like it. But Jason and I both agree that maybe we want to enhance it a little bit, make it a little easier to read, particularly on Amazon.com's page. Because if you look at Amazon.com, right, I mean, here. We'll switch to this here. But if you look at Amazon.com, I mean, this is large here, but consider this, if you're just looking in general, they're about this big. They're like little postage stamp size. And you can see here where Pilate 7, we've got to enhance that a little bit. And you can see where Pilate's Ghost, I guess you can read that, but you don't get all of the nuance, the skull, the bloody fingerprints, the word a novel, my name is unreadable. And Pilate's Blood actually doesn't look so great either, but I think these others come across a lot better. This one is sure to, I think, be a favorite. So, where am I doing here? I'm getting better at this, believe it or not. Let's see here. All right. Let me come back. Am I here? Where am I? There's me. Okay, so we're going to do a little enhancement on 7 as well. That's coming. That's not a major major overhaul or anything like that. It'll be very similar. So that's where we are with those covers. I think I got a couple more little notes for you real quick. And if you got to go, come back later and watch it again. I understand. I was just going to finish up and say, of course, Jason did Pilate's Rose. Now this is not the cover. There's the cover laying on a desk. This is an advertising thing he did for me that I love. But Jason also did Pilate's Rose. And this was, I mean, if you've read Rose, you know there's a big explosion out in the water, right? I mean, we made it pretty simple. And Jason rebuffed all of my attempts to get a skull in there, a skull in those flames. He wouldn't hear of it. It just wasn't going to happen as far as he was concerned. But yeah, so Jason did that, and as I mentioned, he also did Big Cabin. And so, what's coming up next? Okay, so we've already been through all the things that we've worked on, but just to recap. We got Cross done. It's beautiful. Key is now done. It's beautiful. Next up is going to be Ghost. Then after that will be Blood. Then we'll do a little tweak on Pilot 7. Not messing with the manuscript inside at all. I'm not going in there. I mean, I might look it over, but there's nothing really to fix there, I don't think. Of course, Rose will stay the same. Big Cabin's still for sale. I love it if you buy it. It's great for your Western lovers. It's also a love letter, basically, from me to my grandpa. Okay, so a couple other things while I got you. I wanted to tell you real quick. Let me go back to me here. Okay, I wanted to tell you, if you heard of my last Facebook Live, pardon me while I drink something sparkling. This is not a silver bullet. In my last Facebook Live, I talked about the Omnibus Edition. If you're a true John Pilate completist, you've got them all and you love them, what we're doing, 10th anniversary of the series, we're doing a fun thing. We are creating a paperback-only 2-volume Omnibus Edition. Title to come, there, but we're talking 2 more books, and it'll be all these previous novels cut up into 2 different versions of 2 volumes. We'll pack them all in there. And each volume will have 2 different covers. It'll be one title. It'll be blank, 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 whatever, volume 1 and volume 2. But there'll be 2 different covers by Jason. And there will also be a brand new John Pilate mystery adventure to go along with it. How long will it be? I don't know. It won't be a tiny short story. Don't worry. I'm not going to just kind of do a 3-page short story and say, ha, thank you. And this is by no means an attempt just to get you, I don't want you just to feel like, oh gosh, he's just repackaging something and that's all it is. I hate it. Like, you always hear about these remastered versions of albums that you loved or whatever, and then you get it, you can't hear the difference. Well, the difference about this is, though, that all of these are going to be, the interior is going to be all matched